Women do this when they want to be more than friends. Signs she likes you more than a friend. Psychology tricks. Love is not just something you feel. It's something that changes how you behave. A lot of men get thrown off by this, and honestly, I don't blame you. When a woman starts liking you as more than a friend, she doesn't always become softer or more obvious. Sometimes she becomes unpredictable, not because she's playing games, but because her heart is starting to take you seriously. So instead of leaning in the way you expect, she might suddenly lean back. You text her something sweet, and she replies slower than usual. You make her laugh, and then she gets quiet right after. Everything used to feel light and easy, but now the conversations feel deeper, heavier, almost like she's thinking too much. If you felt that shift lately, you're not imagining it. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. When a woman catches real feelings, she starts noticing more. Your tone, your effort, your consistency. And the more she likes you, the more careful she becomes because getting attached means she could get hurt. I've been that woman. I've sat across from a man I was falling for, and instead of making it easy, I made it confusing. Not on purpose. It's that strange moment where you want to be closer, but you're scared of wanting him too much. So if there's a woman in your life who's been acting different lately, hot one day, distant the next, don't rush to label it as drama. It might be one simple truth. She's not pulling away because she doesn't care. She's pulling away because she cares more than she planned to. And once you understand that, you'll stop misreading her signals and start seeing what she's really trying to protect. 1. She starts disagreeing with you more. When she starts disagreeing with you more, don't panic and label it drama, tension, or we're drifting. Be smarter than that. Think back. You used to nod at the same movies, the same takes, the same little opinions like two guys wearing matching hoodies. Then, suddenly, she pushes back. You say, that film was amazing, and she smiles and hits you with, it was kind of overrated, honestly. You share a hot take, and she calmly offers another angle, not to embarrass you, not to start a fight, but to plant a flag and say, here's where I stand. Most men hear disagreement and assume danger. You must stop doing that. That is the lazy interpretation. Here's what's actually going on in female psychology. She may be stepping out of easy mode and into something more real. When a woman only wants friendship, she often keeps the vibe smooth and low risk. She'll let you win the small debates. She'll laugh a little harder. She'll soften her edges. Not because she's fake, but because she's protecting comfort. She doesn't want friction to mess up the connection. But when her feelings tilt from friendly to personal, when she starts thinking about you as more than a buddy, she stops polishing herself for your approval. She stops performing. And yes, that shift can feel like whiplash. But don't miss the meaning. Disagreement becomes a form of intimacy. It's one of those psychology tricks that doesn't look romantic on the surface, yet it's quietly loaded with emotional investment. She's saying, I trust you enough to show you my real opinions, and trust is not a small thing. Be honest. The agreeable version of anyone is easy to like because it asks nothing of you. But the real version? The real version requires respect. It requires you to listen, to stay grounded, to handle a different viewpoint without turning cold or trying to win. Don't argue like you're in a courtroom. Be curious like you're in a conversation. That is the test. And it's also the invitation. In female psychology, when she's imagining a future, whether she admits it or not, she's thinking, can I be myself around him? Can I speak freely and still feel safe? Because pretending is exhausting, and she knows it won't be sustainable long term. So if she's challenging you more, she may not be pulling away at all. She may be moving closer, just in a way most men don't recognize. You must watch how she does it. If she disagrees with a playful tone, if she stays engaged, if she's still present and warm afterward, that's not conflict, it's comfort. It's her stepping into authenticity with you. Don't shut it down with, why are you being like this? Don't punish her honesty with sarcasm or withdrawal. Be steady. Be amused. Be respectful. Say, interesting, tell me why you think that, and mean it. That one sentence is one of the simplest psychology tricks for creating emotional closeness because it tells her you're not fragile. And here's the deeper point. If she's willing to risk a little tension, it often means she values what you two have enough to make it stronger. Friendship protects the surface. Attraction explores the depth. So if you're wondering how to fall in love or how she's moving in that direction, pay attention to moments like this. The path to how to fall in love isn't always candlelight and compliments. Sometimes it's two people realizing they can disagree and still feel connected. That is grown man chemistry. That is real. And if you handle it well, you don't just keep her, you earn her respect, which is a powerful foundation for how to fall in love that lasts. So don't misread her pushback as rejection. Be wise. Be calm. Let her be real. Because when she stops trying to be easy and starts choosing to be honest, that's often the moment she's quietly saying, I want to be more than friends, and she's hoping you're man enough to understand it. 2. She tells you about moments that made her feel small. She tells you about moments that made her feel small, and you might miss how important that is if you're not paying attention. You're talking about something ordinary, work stress, a random story from her week, nothing dramatic, and then the tone shifts. She mentions a moment when she felt embarrassed, a time someone made her feel stupid, an old memory she doesn't usually share. The words matter, but what matters more is what she does next. She watches your face while she tells you. Not for sympathy, for safety. That detail changes everything. This isn't casual vulnerability tossed into conversation. This is personal. This is quiet. And this is one of those moments where a woman decides whether you're just friendly company or someone she can emotionally lean toward. Underneath the story, she's asking questions she may never say out loud. Can I be imperfect around you? Will you still look at me the same way? That is not small talk. That is emotional risk. Most men mishandle this without realizing it. They rush to fix. They reassure. They explain why she shouldn't feel that way. They offer solutions, advice, or pivot the conversation back to something lighter, thinking they're helping. Don't do that. Be still. That is the mistake that quietly shuts the door. She's not asking for repair. She's not looking for a motivational speech. She's offering you access to the version of herself she usually keeps hidden. And access is earned, not managed. When you rush to comfort, you unintentionally tell her the moment is uncomfortable for you. When you rush to fix, you tell her her feelings are a problem to solve. You must understand this. A high-value man doesn't panic in emotional space. He doesn't try to control it. He can sit in it without losing his center. When this happens, don't fill the silence. Don't try to sound impressive. Be present. Stay grounded. Let her finish. Let the moment breathe. Let her see that what she shared didn't make you flinch, didn't lower your respect, didn't change your posture or your tone. That calm presence is masculine energy in action. Not loud, not performative. Steady. When you respond, keep it simple. I get why that stayed with you. Or, thank you for telling me that. That is enough. That response tells her more than any compliment ever could. It tells her she can bring her whole self to you and not be judged, rushed, or reshaped. And that feeling, safety without pity, is rare. This is how you attract women at a deeper level, especially as you get older and superficial charm stops doing the heavy lifting. Attraction isn't built only on confidence or humor. It's built on how a woman feels in moments when she's not polished. A high-value man understands that emotional steadiness is attractive because it signals strength without pressure. Masculine energy shows up not in taking over the moment, but in holding it. If she shares something that made her feel small and stays engaged afterward, if she doesn't retreat or joke it away, that's a sign she's testing closeness without even realizing it. Don't miss it. Be solid. Be attentive. That is how you attract women who want more than friendship. That is how you create connection without forcing it. And that is why moments like these matter far more than smooth lines or clever timing. 3. She asks what you were like before she knew you. When a woman starts asking about who you were before she ever showed up in your world, pay attention. When she wants to know about your childhood, your high school years, the fears you carried, the friends you had, and the things that once made you laugh, this is not casual curiosity. This is intent. The details matter. She is not asking trivia questions. She is extending the timeline of you. She is reaching backward into your story to understand the man standing in front of her now. Men who miss this moment answer quickly and move on. Experienced men slow down. Because when someone wants to stay just friends, they remain on the surface. When someone wants more, they go deeper. They search for roots. They look for origin. They want to understand how you became who you are. As Maya Angelou said, people will never forget how you made them feel. She is trying to feel your life, your growth, your turning points, and your consistency. This is how attraction becomes trust in modern life, where attention is rare and distraction is constant. Here is the mistake most men make. They rush their answers. They joke it away. They minimize their past. And in doing so, they shut the door on a connection that was opening quietly. Do not do that. Slow your pace. Speak with calm certainty. Let your story land. This is where Old Stoic wisdom becomes power. You don't perform. You reveal. You don't impress. You stand grounded. Marcus Aurelius taught us, what stands in the way becomes the way. Even difficult chapters of your past become strength when you speak of them with composure. Give her the truth, not the wound. Give her the lesson, not the chaos. Short answers. Clear meaning. Calm confidence. This is iron mind energy. This is how you communicate stability without asking for approval. Share one defining memory. One challenge that sharpened you. One value you will not compromise. One thing that still brings you joy. She is not collecting facts. She is measuring consistency. Consistency creates safety. Safety creates attraction. Oscar Wilde said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." Take that as instruction. No exaggeration. No masking. No performance. If she remembers details later, if she follows up, if she revisits your past, understand the message. She is building continuity. She is making space for herself in your story. Your role is simple. Hold your posture. Hold your standards. Hold your pace. Stoicism win is not emotional distance. Stoicism win is grounded presence. An iron mind does not chase signals. It recognizes them. Use Old Stoic wisdom. Speak with intention. Let your past become a bridge, not a barrier. Because when she wants to know the man you were, she is deciding whether she can trust the man you are and believe in the man you are becoming. That is how Just Friends quietly turns into something more. One deliberate conversation at a time. If this made sense to you, drop this in the comments. I pay attention. Like the video, subscribe, and remember, real attraction shows up in the questions, not the compliments. 4. She notices when you're tired before you mention it. She notices when you're tired before you ever say a word. And that moment matters more than most men realize. You didn't announce it. You didn't complain. You didn't ask for care. Yet she looks at you and calmly says, "Rough day," or "You seem a little off." And she's right. That matters. Because this is no longer casual awareness. This is attention with intent. This is someone tracking your energy, your tone, your pauses, the way your shoulders sit a little lower than usual. That level of perception does not come from ordinary friendship. It comes from emotional focus. It comes from curiosity. It comes from attraction rooted in female psychology, not surface behavior. Friends notice the obvious things. Big signals. Loud emotions. This is different. This is her picking up on microshifts. Shorter sentences. Delayed responses. A quieter presence. Men who understand psychology tricks know this is a signal that should never be ignored or dismissed. Don't brush it off. Don't laugh it away. Don't rush to say, "I'm fine." That response shuts a door she just gently opened. You must understand this. When a woman notices you before you explain yourself, she is testing emotional access. She is not interrogating you. She is reaching. So let her be right. Let the moment breathe. Let her feel that her attention lands where it's intended. Recognition is a gift, and how you receive it quietly teaches her whether her closeness is welcome or wasted. Be present. Be calm. Be honest without oversharing. That is how trust deepens without pressure. This is one of those subtle psychology tricks that separates men who accidentally stall attraction from men who allow it to grow naturally. In female psychology, being seen is intimacy. Allowing yourself to be seen without defensiveness signals emotional safety. It signals steadiness. It signals maturity. You don't need to impress her. Don't perform. Don't explain too much. You must simply stay open. Moments like this are how people learn how to fall in love, not through grand speeches, not through dramatic gestures, through quiet awareness, through mutual permission. Pay attention here. When she notices your internal state before you verbalize it, she is already emotionally invested. This is where many men make the mistake of minimizing the moment instead of honoring it. Don't do that. Let her concern land. Let her feel accurate. Let her know her intuition works with you, not against you. This is how emotional attraction moves from friendly warmth into something deeper, something steady, something meaningful. When you understand how to fall in love through these small exchanges, you stop chasing signs and start recognizing them. You realize the real psychology tricks are not manipulative at all. They are about awareness, presence, and responding correctly when someone quietly steps closer to you. 5. She brings up hypotheticals that include both of you. She brings up hypotheticals that quietly place both of you in the same frame, and that is never accidental. If we ever went to Japan, imagine if we had to survive a road trip together. On the surface, it sounds playful, light, almost like a throwaway line. But don't misread it. Underneath that casual tone, she's doing something meaningful. She's building mental simulations of a shared future. Women don't spend imagination energy on people they see as temporary. They don't test scenarios with men who exist only in the present moment. When she includes you in a what if, she's checking how it feels to picture you beside her, not just today, but somewhere down the road. That is curiosity mixed with intention. That is emotional exploration. Don't laugh it off. Don't brush it aside as small talk. Don't respond with a flat smile and a quick joke that ends the moment. You must understand this clearly. A hypothetical is an invitation. It's a soft test. She's watching how you respond when the conversation moves from now to possibility. Be engaged. Be grounded. Add to the scenario. Build it with her. Say what you'd do. Say how you'd handle it. Say what you'd enjoy about it. That doesn't make you eager. That makes you present. And presence is a key trait of a high-value man. This is how attraction deepens without pressure. She's not asking for commitment. She's observing alignment. She wants to see if your mindset flows with hers. If your masculine energy feels calm and steady inside, imagine challenges and shared adventures. When you participate instead of deflecting, you signal confidence. You signal comfort with the future. That is attractive. Men who know how to attract women don't shut down these moments. They lean into them naturally, not with intensity, with ease. Notice the pattern. These hypotheticals often involve teamwork, travel, problem solving, or shared humor. That's not random. She's testing compatibility without making it obvious. She's asking, what would it feel like to do life with him? Don't overthink it. Don't interrogate her meaning out loud. Just meet her where she is. That is emotional intelligence. That is masculine energy expressed through calm engagement, not force. Be playful. Be thoughtful. Be relaxed. You don't need to turn it into a fantasy speech. You must simply show that you can imagine a future without fear or hesitation. That quality alone separates a high-value man from someone who stays stuck in the friend zone. When you help her build the scenario, you step into a future she's already half constructing in her mind. And once a woman starts doing that, attraction is no longer abstract. It's taking shape. This is how you attract women without chasing. You don't pull. You don't push. You allow space for shared imagination. You respond with presence and direction. That balance of openness and stability is masculine energy at its best. Remember this. Hypotheticals are not jokes. Bare windows. Step through them calmly. That is how interest becomes connection. That is how connection quietly grows into something more. 6. She gets quieter right before you leave. When a woman grows quieter right before you leave, Pay attention. This moment is not accidental. It is psychological truth revealing itself in real time, and men who understand human behavior never ignore it. Everything was flowing. She was laughing. Eye contact was steady. Her presence was warm. Then the moment you say you have to go, something subtle but powerful changes. She doesn't protest. She doesn't try to stop you. She doesn't chase. Yet her energy pulls inward. Her voice softens. Her movements slow. This is not disinterest. This is restraint. This is emotional exposure without words, because attraction often reveals itself not through pursuit, but through loss. As Carl Jung once said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Discomfort in silence often points to deeper truth. In modern life, where people hide feelings behind politeness, this quiet shift is one of the clearest signs she wants more than friendship. Men with an iron mind understand that bodies speak before mouths do. Always. This is where Old Stoic wisdom applies, because Stoicism teaches observation before reaction and awareness before action. The man who notices this moment and does not rush it is practicing Stoicism when in real life, not theory. Slow your exit. Ground your posture. Keep your tone calm. Let the silence breathe. Those final minutes often carry more honesty than the entire conversation that came before. Marcus Aurelius said it best: if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Your power lies in how you respond, not in forcing outcomes. Do not overtalk. Do not fill the space with nervous energy. Do not seek reassurance. Stay present. Presence is strength. Strength is attractive. Men between 35 and 70 often underestimate how powerful calm consistency is in today's fast, distracted world, but women notice it immediately, especially when emotions are involved. When she grows quieter, she is testing safety, depth, and awareness. Not consciously, but instinctively. The man who passes this test does so by being steady, unhurried, and observant. Repeat this truth to yourself. Attraction shows in restraint. Interest shows in silence. Desire shows when she doesn't want the moment to end. This is iron mind thinking. This is Old Stoic wisdom applied to relationships. This is how Stoicism plays out socially. Not through force. Not through chasing. Through control of self. As Ernest Hemingway said, the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. Trust the signal. Trust your awareness. Trust your calm. In a modern world full of noise, the man who reads silence correctly stands apart, masters connection, and moves through life with quiet victory. If this opened your eyes, don't just watch and move on. Act. Like the video, subscribe for more real-world psychology, and share it with a man who needs sharper awareness in his relationships. Then lock the lesson into your mind by commenting the sentence below. Silence at goodbye reveals the truth words try to hide. Comment it now, because the men who notice the ending are the men who understand what she really feels. 7. She mentions small preferences she's never told anyone. When a woman starts sharing the small preferences she's never told anyone, don't brush it off. Don't laugh it away. Don't change the subject, because this is not small talk. This is access. She tells you she can't sleep without socks, that the last bite of food makes her uncomfortable, that she skips the first episode of every show, and none of these facts will change the world, but they quietly reveal hers. These are not headline stories, they are footnotes, and footnotes only matter when someone expects you to read closely. That is the point most men miss. In female psychology, trust doesn't always arrive with big confessions or dramatic speeches. It arrives through texture, through habits, through odd little rules she lives by when no one is watching. When she offers you these details, she is not filling silence, she is testing presence. Be present. Remember them. You must understand that remembering is not about having a good memory. It is about signaling care without saying it out loud. Ask a follow-up. Not an interrogation, not a joke, just curiosity. Since when? How did that start? That is how to fall in love slowly, the way adults do, the way people with life experience recognize as real. Psychology tricks often focus on flashy moves, but this is a quieter truth. Intimacy grows when someone feels seen in places they never thought to hide. Don't rush to label it. Don't assume it means nothing. In female psychology, these small disclosures are invitations, and every invitation comes with a choice. You can step in or you can step over it. Step in. When you remember she hates the last bite and you offer to finish it, when you notice she's restless at night and toss her a pair of socks without making a show of it, when you understand why she skips the first episode and don't question it, you are speaking a language deeper than compliments. That is how to fall in love without chasing it. That is how attraction matures past surface level interest. Psychology tricks get attention, but awareness builds connection. Be calm. Be observant. Be steady. These moments matter most to men who have lived enough life to know that real closeness doesn't announce itself loudly. It slips in through comfort, familiarity, and shared understanding. When she lets you see the uncurated version of her life, she is saying, "This is how I really live." Don't try to impress her there. Fit into it. Remember, attraction at this stage isn't about proving value, it's about recognizing value already being offered. That is female psychology in practice. That is how to fall in love without forcing it. And yes, psychology tricks may teach you how to start a conversation, but noticing, remembering, and responding to these tiny truths is how you keep one alive. 8. She asks about women you've dated, then quickly changes the subject. When she asks about women you've dated and then quickly changes the subject, don't overlook it. Don't assume it was casual. Don't treat it as noise. That question carried meaning. She was quietly checking where she stood, even if she didn't plan to admit it. Then the answer hit harder than expected, so she redirected. That shift wasn't disinterest. That is restraint. That is emotion managed in real time. She felt something, adjusted fast, and moved on to protect herself. You must recognize that this moment speaks louder than anything she said. Be calm. Be aware. Don't push. Don't revisit the topic to show confidence. That is not strength. A high-value man notices emotional signals without pressing for explanations. He registers them and stays steady. He understands that attraction often shows up indirectly, through small emotional reactions rather than open declarations. Masculine energy here is quiet and grounded, not performative. Stay consistent after. Don't pull away. Don't overcompensate. Just remain centered and warm. She changed the subject because she cared more than she expected. Respect that. When curiosity meets emotion and retreats, that's not a door closing. That's a door being tested. And patience, not pressure, is what helps attract women who want more than friendship. 9. She apologizes for things that don't need apologies. When a woman starts apologizing for things that require no apology, replying late, sharing a little too much, showing emotion, being human, understand this clearly. This is not insecurity, it is investment. And investment is never accidental. It happens when her feelings are growing faster than her internal rules about what she's allowed to feel. And at that moment, she is quietly asking a question without using words. Is it safe with you? This is where experienced men separate themselves from boys, because the right response is calm, grounded, and steady. No teasing, no withdrawal, no emotional confusion, just simple reassurance delivered with certainty. Because reassurance from a centered man feels like leadership. You don't overreact. You don't gush. You don't analyze. You gently refuse the apology. You tell her it wasn't too much. You tell her there's nothing to be sorry for. Then you move on unshaken. This is how trust is built in modern life, where people are overwhelmed, distracted, and constantly second-guessing themselves. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and in moments like this, your composure colors the entire interaction. Your calm becomes permission. Your steadiness becomes safety. This is Old Stoic wisdom in action, not theory, not philosophy books, but lived behavior. Men with an iron mind understand that attraction grows in environments where emotion is welcomed but not chased, acknowledged but not amplified. You show her that emotional presence doesn't scare you. You show her that you are grounded enough to hold space without needing control. That's how Stoicism win moments are created, quietly, decisively, without drama. In today's world, where many men rush to explain themselves or pull back out of fear, your restraint becomes powerful. Your silence speaks strength. Your response becomes a signal. You can be yourself here. And when she feels that, she leans in naturally. As Seneca said, he who is brave is free, and bravery here means staying present without forcing anything. This is not about strategy. It's about character. Men who master this don't chase connection. They allow it. They don't react emotionally. They respond intentionally. Repeat this truth until it's part of you. Reassurance builds attraction. Calm builds trust. Steadiness builds desire. This is iron mind discipline. This is Old Stoic wisdom applied to relationships. This is how Stoicism win plays out in real life, where emotional intelligence matters more than clever lines. You lead by example. You stay centered. You let her show up fully. And when she does, she remembers how it felt to be safe with you. That feeling lasts. 10. She tells you when something reminds her of you. When a woman tells you that something reminded her of you, a song drifting through her car speakers, a meme that made her laugh, a random moment in a busy day, pause and really take that in, because this is one of the clearest, quietest signals in female psychology that you matter to her in a way that goes beyond casual connection. You are not physically present, yet you are mentally active, and that is powerful. Be honest with yourself. People don't repeatedly think of just friends when their guard is down and their mind is wandering. That is not how emotional attention works. That is not how attraction grows. This is how to fall in love, step by step, thought by thought, without grand declarations or dramatic moves. Her mind is tagging moments with your name, and that is intimacy forming in real time. Don't brush it off. Don't joke it away. Don't respond with a dry haha or a quick emoji and move on. You must respond with warmth and presence, because the moment she shares that, she is opening a door. Say something real. Ask what made her think of you. Let her explain the feeling behind the thought. That invitation pulls her closer without pressure and without fear, and this is where psychology tricks work best, not manipulative ones, but human ones rooted in understanding female psychology. When you show genuine curiosity, you validate her emotional experience, and that creates safety. That safety deepens attraction. Be calm. Be attentive. Be grounded. This is not about chasing or impressing. That is old thinking. This is about recognizing that when a woman brings you into her inner world unprompted, she is already investing emotionally. Notice the pattern. If it happens once, it's a spark. If it happens often, it's a signal. Her mind is rehearsing you into her daily life, and repetition builds attachment. That is how to fall in love without forcing anything. You don't need big speeches. You don't need clever lines. You need awareness. You need presence. You need to understand that these small mentions are emotional breadcrumbs leading somewhere meaningful. Many men miss this because they expect attraction to be loud and obvious, but female psychology often works quietly, subtly, and consistently. When you respond with warmth and interest, you reinforce the emotional loop, and that loop strengthens connection. Use psychology tricks wisely here by leaning into empathy, not strategy. Be the man who listens. Be the man who asks. Be the man who makes her feel seen in the moment she reaches out. That is how trust forms. That is how attraction matures. That is how to fall in love in a way that feels natural, mutual, and deeply human. 11. She shows up differently with you than with others. She shows up differently with you than with others. In groups, she's one version of herself. With you, she softens. That's not inconsistency. That's selection. She's chosen you. Those lines matter, so don't rush past them. Read them slowly. Let them land. When a woman behaves one way in public and another way when she's alone with you, she isn't confused and she isn't pretending. She is filtering. She is deciding where to place her emotional energy. In a group, she may be lively, sharp, playful, even guarded. That's her public self. That's how she navigates the world. But when she's with you and her voice lowers, her posture relaxes, her eyes linger, that shift is intentional. That is her saying, without saying it, you feel different to me. Don't ignore that. Don't minimize it. Be aware. That is a quiet signal rooted deeply in psychology tricks that most men miss because they are looking for louder signs. Be clear about this. A woman does not soften around just anyone. Softening requires safety. It requires trust. It requires attraction. When she lets that guard down with you, she is responding to your masculine energy, not in a loud or forceful way, but in a steady, grounded way. That is what a high-value man naturally brings into a space. He doesn't demand attention. He doesn't perform. He simply holds himself well. When she senses that, she relaxes. That relaxation is not accidental. That is selection in action. She is choosing how she shows up based on how she feels with you, and that choice reveals more than words ever could. Don't test her. Don't interrogate her about it. You must simply notice and respond correctly. Be calm. Be consistent. Be present. When she softens, you don't rush in or pull away. You stay steady. That steadiness is what allows attraction to deepen. This is how to attract women without chasing them. You create a space where they can be themselves, and in return, they show you a version of themselves they don't offer to everyone. That contrast matters. Public version, private version, laughter versus quiet, energy versus ease. That difference is not random. That is emotional prioritization. Understand this clearly. A high-value man doesn't need to label the moment. He recognizes it. He respects it. He doesn't try to control it. He allows it to grow. That calm confidence strengthens masculine energy, and masculine energy is what keeps her leaning in rather than pulling back. When she chooses softness with you, she is telling you that she feels safe enough to lower her armor. That is not friendship behavior. That is attraction expressing itself in a mature, understated way. Psychology tricks teach us that people reveal their true feelings through behavior long before they admit them out loud. Be the man who notices patterns, not just moments. Be the man who understands that when she shows up differently with you, she is already answering the question you're afraid to ask. That is how you attract women. That is how a high-value man moves through connection. Calm, aware, grounded, and quietly chosen. 12. She hesitates before saying your name. When a woman sends you something with no explanation, no setup, no, by the way, no safety net, understand this clearly. That silence is not emptiness. It is confidence. And confidence is connection. She is assuming you are already inside her mental space. She assumes you will get it. She assumes you are tuned to her frequency. That assumption is one of the strongest psychological signs that she sees you as more than a casual friend. People do not gamble with misunderstanding unless they feel secure in the bond. Your job is not to interrogate the moment. Your job is to meet it. Respond to the thing itself. Mirror the calm certainty she just showed you. Asking, "Why did you send this?" breaks the spell. It reveals hesitation. Responding with grounded presence signals strength, experience, and emotional literacy. This is where Old Stoic wisdom matters. Marcus Aurelius said, "Confidence comes from discipline and training." Emotional discipline means staying centered when subtle signals appear, not scrambling for clarification, not chasing validation, just standing firm and answering from quiet awareness. In modern life, where texts replace eye contact and meaning travels without packaging, this skill is critical. Attraction now lives in subtext, timing, and emotional economy. She is testing whether you can read the room without being led by the hand, whether you have an iron mind that does not overreact or underrespond, whether you can stay relaxed and decisive in ambiguity. Men who master this win quietly. Stoicism win is not silence for its own sake. It is control. Control is attractive. Respond with insight. Respond with calm relevance. Then move on. Power is shown as much in what you do not chase as in what you say. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." When you know who you are, you do not need extra context to stay grounded. Short responses. Clear responses. No emotional flailing. This signals comfort with uncertainty. It signals self-trust. It signals that you are not hungry for reassurance. That alone separates men who are overlooked from men who are remembered. Repeat this mindset daily. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that repetition builds character. An iron mind builds consistency. Consistency builds attraction. Apply this approach not only to dating, but to work, leadership, and life. You will feel the shift. Calm control. Quiet victory. You stop reacting to the world and start directing your place in it. Stay steady. Stay perceptive. Stay decisive. When a woman sends something without explanation, she is inviting you into her inner circle. The man who belongs there does not ask for permission. He responds with presence. He lets Stoicism win. He sharpens the iron mind. And he moves forward like someone who already owns the moment. If this hit home, prove you understand the signal. Drop a comment right now that says, "I respond with calm, not questions." Like this video, subscribe for more sharp psychology and timeless insight, and remind yourself every day, when a woman sends something without explanation, it's not confusion, it's connection, and the man who recognizes it stays one step ahead. 13. She sends things without explanation. When she asks how you'd handle her problems, pause and pay attention, because that question is rarely about fixing anything and almost never about advice. It's an invitation, a quiet test wrapped in curiosity. A moment where female psychology reveals itself in plain sight, and you must read it correctly. She isn't asking because she's confused or incapable. Don't rush to solve. Don't lecture. Be present. That is the key. She's asking because she's imagining you beside her, not across from her, walking through life together, weighing choices, feeling consequences, sharing perspective. This is one of those subtle psychology tricks that separates a man who reacts from a man who understands. When a woman invites you into her inner decision-making world, she's checking how safe it feels to think out loud with you, how calm you stay when things get messy, how thoughtful you are when the answer isn't obvious. Be curious. Ask questions that show depth, not control. What worries you most about it? What would make the outcome feel right to you? You must listen more than you speak. That is not passivity. That is confidence. She's watching how you frame the problem, not whether you crack it. She's noticing if you respect her feelings without dismissing them, if you offer clarity without pressure. This is how emotional connection forms before romance ever shows its face, and it's a quiet lesson in how to fall in love without forcing it. Many men miss this because they think attraction is built through bold moves and big gestures, but here, attraction grows through steadiness, tone, and presence. Be thoughtful. Be grounded. That is attractive. When you respond with patience, when you explore possibilities instead of issuing verdicts, she begins to associate you with ease, with relief, with the feeling that life might be lighter with you involved. That's female psychology at work, and it's powerful. Don't turn it into a performance. Be real. You must understand that she's not measuring your intelligence. She's measuring your emotional posture. Can you stay open? Can you handle complexity without irritation? Can you hold space without trying to own it? When you do, something shifts. She starts asking more. She shares more. She lets you closer to her inner world, and that's not accidental. That's connection forming, step by step, through trust, through tone, through shared imagination. This is one of those psychology tricks that works not because it's clever, but because it's human. Remember this. When she asks how you'd handle her problems, she's not testing your answers. She's testing how it feels to think of you as part of her life. And if you handle that moment with care, clarity, and calm strength, you quietly teach her how to fall in love with the idea of you. 14. She asks how you'd handle her problems. When she tells you what she almost said, "I deleted it, I was going to say something," don't brush past that moment like it's small talk, because it isn't. That sentence is a doorway. She's standing right at the edge of confession, testing the air, checking whether it's safe to step forward or wiser to pull back. Don't tease her. Don't rush her. Be calm. That is what steadiness looks like in real life. A man who understands this moment doesn't push and doesn't retreat. He creates space. You must recognize that when a woman reveals the words she held back, She's not sharing information, she's sharing vulnerability. That's not casual. That's intentional. This is one of those quiet signals that shows she's thinking beyond friendship and wondering what happens if she lets you see a little more of her inner world. Encourage gently, not with pressure, not with curiosity that feels like interrogation, but with reassurance that feels grounded. A simple, relaxed response can change everything. You can say it if you want. I'm listening. Short sentences. Calm tone. That is how a high-value man handles emotional moments. He doesn't chase them. He doesn't fear them. He meets them with presence. When you do this, you send a clear message without saying it out loud. You're comfortable with honesty, you respect her pace, and you don't need control to feel secure. That's attractive. That's how you naturally attract women without trying to impress them. Notice the contrast here. Many men hear, "I deleted it," and immediately feel tension. They push. They joke. They ask, "What was it?" over and over. Don't do that. Be patient. Patience is confidence in motion. When you allow silence to exist without discomfort, she feels it. When you don't grab for answers, she feels safer offering them. This is where masculine energy shows up in its most grounded form. Not loud, not forced, just steady, just clear. And when she senses that steadiness, she relaxes into herself because she doesn't feel rushed or judged. This moment also reveals something important about attraction psychology. She's already rehearsed the sentence in her head. She's already imagined your reaction. She's already crossed an emotional line internally. By telling you she almost said something, she's checking whether you can handle what might come next. Be reassuring. Be warm. That doesn't mean overreacting. It means responding in a way that says, "I can hold this moment without dropping it." That is how a high-value man stands out. He doesn't need to force emotional depth. It comes to him because people trust him with it. And here's the quiet truth most men miss. When you respond well in these moments, you don't just attract women, you invite connection to grow naturally. She starts to associate you with safety, with ease, with emotional clarity. That association deepens attraction without a single dramatic move. Stay grounded. Stay open. You must understand that encouragement doesn't mean persuasion. It means permission. When she feels permitted to speak freely, she often will. And if she doesn't, that's okay too. The way you handle what's unsaid matters just as much as how you respond to what's spoken. This is masculine energy at its most effective. Calm, present, unrushed. When she's standing at the edge of confession, don't pull her forward and don't walk away. Stand where you are. Let her decide. That is strength without pressure, confidence without noise, and the kind of presence that quietly turns friendship into something more. Hey, thanks for staying with me until the very end. If you've noticed these signs, trust me, everything has already changed. You're no longer guessing. You're no longer wondering, am I just imagining this? The real question now isn't whether she likes you or not, it's how you choose to move next. Here's something important you need to understand. Emotions don't wait around forever. They either grow stronger or they slowly fade away. And the line between those two usually comes down to one thing: whether she starts to miss you when you're not around. My sincere advice to you is this: don't rush, don't chase, and don't try to prove anything. Focus on becoming someone who makes her feel comfortable, relaxed, and genuinely good when she's around you. When you leave and create a calm but noticeable space in her mind, that's when feelings naturally begin to pull her back. If you want to learn how to create the kind of attraction that makes her miss you deeply, even if right now she's telling herself she's not interested, the next video will show you exactly how. Once you understand this, every sign you just recognized will take on a completely new meaning. I'll see you in the next video.